All right, hello, welcome to the evening session of Fit Essentials. I'm Shauna, and here's our quick disclaimer. You're about to engage in intense physical activity. Proceed with caution. Do not attempt to perform any movements or activity that exceed your current physical capabilities. Participants with injuries, high blood pressure, chronic health conditions, recent chest pain, or that have any other condition that may limit their ability to participate in this activity should consult their physician or healthcare provider before proceeding. All right, let's go ahead and come to your feet. Grab my other watch. All right, we're going to start with some breathing. Feet just underneath the hips, palms in front of the chest. Go ahead and breathe in, stretch up nice and tall. We're going to go 3 cycles here. Breathe in about 3 to 4 seconds and exhale as you let the arms down, about 3 to 4 seconds there. Feel free to close the eyes, give them a break for now. Breathe in, stretch, lifting up out of the hips. Exhale, relax. Fantastic. One more time. Breathe in. Pull the chin in, lift up through the head, up out of the spine, and relax down. Really opening, pull the shoulder blades back and down. Fantastic. Walking those feet in, toes are still pointing straight ahead. Palms on the thighs, chin to the chest, nice and slow. We're going to start to round forward here, waking up the back part of the body. Reaching down for the toes, holding strong in the legs and core. And now breathe into the back of the rib cage. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, stay strong, stay engaged. Just let yourself hang a little bit more. And then one more breath. And relax. And then when you're ready, start to tuck the hips under. Begin to make your way back up to the top. Fantastic. Feet about hip width apart again, arms heavy at the side. We're going to go into our gates of heaven. Get some good blood flow going here. I don't know about where you all are in the world, but we had our first cold streak here. I drove back from Utah yesterday, visiting some friends this weekend, and I left just in time because the last 5 miles or so of my ride, it was like 20 miles an hour on the highway, snow, or the water was turned into ice, and yeah, I'm just recently coming from Arizona, wasn't used to that. All right, go ahead and let those arms be heavy still, one arm on the hip. Just slightly let that hip go to the side. We're going to move into the side stretch. Peer up. Breathe into the front of the rib cage for 2 to 3 breaths. Looking to reach a little bit farther with each breath. And once more. Good job. Down and relax. Same thing other side. Let the hips slightly shift. Reach and stretch. Let's go 2 to 3 breaths here. Once more, and down and switch. Good job. Now we're going to start to twist to the side and reach across the body. Hand on the hip, twist and reach. Very nice. And we're going to walk those feet in, and we're going to start to build into either a step jack, or if you feel ready for a little bit of jumping, we'll move into a jumping jack. We're going to go upwards of 30 seconds. Fantastic. Nice work. 10 more seconds here. We're going to take it to a march next. If you want to keep your intensity up, you're welcome to do a running high knee. Otherwise, just join me for a march. Pulling up through the core, lift the knee, lift the opposite arm. First couple here, we're going to focus on some stability. Looking to keep the hips nice and parallel. And then we'll start to pick up the pace from there. And then we're going to march and then punch across the body. If you're doing those running high knees, you're welcome to just stick with that. We're going to go another 10 seconds. Good. Coordinate the breathing. Exhale as you punch. One more each side. Fantastic. Walk those feet out just outside the hips. Slight bend in the knees. We're going to start to windmill here. Long spine. Send the hips back. Engage the glutes to stand. Fire those glutes as you pull yourself upright. Bowing forward. See if you can reach a little bit farther each time. Last one each side. Good job. Walking the feet back in. Back to either those step jacks or jumping jacks. Good. Fantastic. If you haven't smiled for a while, feel free to just kind of smile, dance around, jump around, have some fun with it. A couple more. Fantastic. Either running high knees or we'll go right to the march and punch. Just doing 2 cycles here, and we'll switch up our hamstring stretch on this round. Good. So you can either stay there, or like I said, if you want to kind of pick up the pace a little bit, you start to kind of jog in place. Nice and light on the feet. 2, 1, and we're going to stay low to those hamstrings. Slight bend in the knees, hands behind the head, heel down, toe up, bow forward, and stand. Upwards of 5, hinging over, straight up. Really sending those hips back. Once you feel that hamstring say hello, you can just pause there and then push to the opposite foot and stand. One more, then we'll switch. Very good. Same thing, opposite side. Switch the foot, slight bend in that knee. Make sure that heel is grounded on the support leg. Bowing forward, standing tall, couple more. Last one, and all the way up. Very good. We're gonna do a little bit more balance work here, where we're gonna step back behind and have this foot nicely planted. Back and forward, crossing over, keeping the heel down. Good job. And you can either stay here, where you keep that back foot on the ground, or if you wanna challenge that balance more, you'll hinge over and reach for your front foot. Fire up tall, bring the leg back behind, bowing forward, and stand. Or if you feel too wobbly there, just keep that back toe down. Let's go a couple more on each side. Working on that good stability, good core control. Gripping those toes down on the foot. Over and up. Fantastic. From here, let's go ahead and make our way down to the floor. We're going to start by stretching out through the forearms. So down on the hands and knees. Palms down, fingers towards you. Go ahead and walk the knees out, bring the toes together, and then we're going to gently stretch back. So rock forward and back. And then when you're ready there, we're going to go round and round. Getting a little pops here and there through the wrist. Shouldn't be painful, just kind of waking everything up, and then we'll reverse direction. Same thing other way. We do so much right in front of our body, right in the keyboard. Everything tends to get really tight, so we want to keep all that loose. Go ahead and come up out of that, and let's roll those wrists around. Fantastic. And then last one, we're going to go palms down again, fingers pointing towards you. And from here, we'll rock side to side. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and take it down onto the side of your body. We're going to move into a quad stretch. We're getting ready for some squats and as our first circuit today. So go ahead and grab the foot, pull the heel towards the glute, and just watch your shoulder position. So pull the shoulder blade back as well, open through the chest. And we're going to hold 20 seconds here. Good time to relax those eyes again. Focus on taking a few nice deep breaths as you gently stretch the thigh. Very good. Go ahead and relax and switch sides. Flip it over. And grab that opposite foot. Fantastic. Pulling the top shoulder back. And taking a couple more breaths. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and come onto our back. Knees bent, Feet flat. We're gonna walk the feet out a little bit wide, and then we're just gonna gently start to lower the knees back and forth as if your hips or legs are moving like windshield wipers. And then let's go ahead and bring the arms kind of up at like 90 degrees, allowing the chest and shoulders to open a little bit. Very good. Once you finish that, go ahead and walk the feet in. Make sure the back is in good position. So I want to start to activate my core, roll the hips back. I'm going to bring the knees up and together, and now we'll move into a 2-knee twist. Bringing the legs over to one side, looking over the opposite shoulder. Keeping the core engaged as you allow the back to twist a little bit, and then use the core to pull the knees up and together. And then same thing other side. As the legs switch side, peer over the opposite arm. And then just back and forth, once more on each side, moving at your own tempo. See if you can drop a little bit more into the twist this time. Very good. And last time, other way. Fantastic. All right. From here, let's go ahead and make your way back up. Grab some water, and then we're going to get ready for that first circuit. We're going to be doing 3 sets. We're working for 45 seconds today. 45 seconds of a squat. You can go weighted or unweighted. We'll have 15 seconds to transition, and then we're going to be doing a bent over single arm row where you support on a bench or a chair, right? Elbow nice and high. You can also stand in like a nice long lunge and row like this if you don't have like a bench or chair to utilize, all right? For those squats, feet a bit weight apart. Let's go ahead and warm it up now. We're kind of sitting back, moving everything around, chest nice and tall. And then you can do your first round just like this if you want to go unweighted, or if you feel ready to move right into it, go ahead, and I encourage you to hold some weight on that first round. Any questions before we start? All right. We'll go ahead and start in 10 seconds for set 1. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Feet about hip width apart, slight toe out, sending the hips back, moving smooth here. Focus to control your depth, not as in to limit how deep you go, but to control yourself as you move down, so you don't just drop into the bottom and bounce. Keeping the heels planted. Breathing consistent. That's 30 seconds. If you haven't done these workouts in a while, or this is one of your first time joining us, you may want to go ahead and rest early. Otherwise, hang on for another 10 seconds. Sorry, less than 10. And 2, 1, there's our 45. Nice job, making our way over to the bench. Feet about hip width apart or in that stagger stance. 2, 1, and here we go. Pulling the elbow up and in, keeping the hips and shoulders square. Sometimes we rotate through the torso. Today we're just keeping everything square. Focus on that elbow high, pulling the shoulder blade in towards your spine. And then just make sure your knees aren't hyperextended or locked out. I just have like a little bend in my knees and staying engaged to the core to support the spine in this position. That's 30 seconds if you want to pause there for the day, or at least for this round. Otherwise, keep on moving. Reach and breathe. 2, 1, there's our 45. Go ahead and stand up, shake it out. And we'll be right back down for the opposite arm. All right, slight bend in those knees, sending the hips back, and here we go. Shoulder blade pulled down the rib cage. Trying to pull that lower part of the shoulder in nice and tight to the spine. I really like to kind of pause a little bit at the top. Get those muscles to engage and fire. And continue to breathe, nice and consistent. I inhale as I reach forward, and then I exhale as I pull that weight up and in into my torso. There's 30 seconds. Couple more. And that's time. Good job. We'll take 30 seconds in between sets. Good time to grab a little bit of water, shed a layer as needed, and then we'll be back with our squats. Good job, everybody. 10 seconds. You can stay with the same weight. You can increase the weight. I've got one weight here, but you could also be holding one in each hand. Set those feet. 2, 1. Here we go. Set 2. Knees push out. Toes grip down. Chest stays tall. Good job, Kathy. Nice rhythm. Fantastic. Starting to feel those legs burn a little bit. Breathing through it, moving smooth. That's our 30-second mark. Fantastic, good job. Don't lose that torso position. Chest tall. And rest. Awesome. Making your way to that single arm row. Nice deep breaths. Set the feet, slight bend in those knees. 2, 1, and here we go. Elbow high. Good controlled breathing. And try to hold your head neutral. I tend to peer at you all every once in a while, but ideally you want to be looking like straight down at the wrist. Hold that neck neutral with the rest of the spine. And we're just that brief pause at the top, pulling that shoulder blade in. Good job. That's 30 seconds. "40 seconds, 1 or 2 more. And rest. Good job. Shake it out in between arms. Whew. Fantastic. All right, getting ready to go back again in 5. Slight bend in the legs. 2, 1, and here we go into round 2. In the bottom, allow the shoulder blade to slightly come forward like you're reaching towards the floor, and then you retract it in, pulling it in nice and strong to the spine. Reach forward, elbow squeezes in tight. I like to imagine there's like a string from the ceiling attached to my elbow, pulling it nice and high, straight up and in. Good job. That's 30 seconds. Almost there. 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. Here's our 30-second rest before we go back to set 3. Whew, good work. It's got me breathing. All right, 10 seconds till we go into set 3. This will be the end of the squatting for the day. So if you want to go a little bit heavier or just work to stay consistent. Set the feet, nice tall chest, and here we are. If you're just kind of building into this, or if you've had a little bit of stiffness recently, really encourage you to focus on good control into the bottom. If you're just getting warmed up with all this and feeling good, feel free to move a little bit faster. Continue to breathe. That's our 30-second mark. Want every rep to look the same. And 3, 2, 1. Rest and rotate. Nice job. All done with those squats. Getting ready for our last set of rows. Set strong, set the knees, set the back, and up and in. Elbow high. Focus on that breathing. Here's our first 15. Still taking that moment to pause with that weight again against the torso. Really strengthen the back muscles. That's our 30 seconds. And almost done. 2, 1. Let's shake it out between arms. Whew. Nice job. All right, set the feet. Go ahead and get into position. Setting the hips back. 2, 1. Last time with these single arm rows. Remember to starfish that support hand. So have those fingers splayed out wide, gripping those finger pads down. Helps activate the arch of the hand. Takes the pressure off the wrist. That's our 30 seconds. Whew. Feel myself wanting to cheat a little bit. I kind of want to dive my hips into it as I get tired here. 2, 1, all done there. Nice work, everybody. Let's grab some water. We'll do a couple stretches before we go into our next piece. All right, next piece, we're going to be doing plank shoulder taps and glute bridges. If for some reason you can't get on the floor where you are, sub a good morning for the glute bridge. Either unweighted, hinging at the hips, standing tall, or you can hold a weight over your chest, even behind the neck. But first, let's go behind the back stretch to start. Interlace the hands, chest tall, ribs down, extend out those elbows, and lifting up. If it's hard for you to grab the hands, you can grab a towel or a band and hang on to that. And then go ahead and walk the feet out nice and wide. Slight bend in those knees. If you feel confident for this, send those hips back. Pull the arms up for a forward bow. I like to kind of rotate side to side a bit here. Just hold strong in the legs. And when you're ready, make your way on up. Fantastic. From here, we're going to open the hips a bit more. Go ahead and set your left foot forward so you can mirror me. Then you'll have your right foot back, either up on the toe or down on the heel. Right arm to the right shoulder. Pull the elbow down and in, send your hips forward, and you're going to rotate towards your front leg. We're looking to open the front of the hip, get into those hip flexors. As you shift those hips forward, fire your glute on that right side as you turn towards the left. Let's get one more and relax. Go ahead and switch sides. Same thing, other side. Standing tall, shoulders stacked over those hips, bring the arm down and in, send those hips forward and rotating the torso. Wake up that glute on the back leg, fire in the glute. The more you can get that leg to fire, the more the front of the hips can open. And about one more here. Send the hips back, rotate forward. Awesome. Switch around, we're gonna go same thing other side, but this time we're gonna change the upper body part. Interlace the hands, stretch up tall, breathe in, and now we're gonna side bend. So feet are still hip width apart, don't put yourself on a tightrope, bending to the side. Breathe in and exhale. In and exhale. Fantastic. Switch sides. Standing long, interlace, reach up, and side bends. A couple more. Fantastic. So you can either stay in this standing lunge or come on down to the knee. So whichever foot is back, we're going to reach that side up, and now we're going to add a tricep stretch to it. So bend the elbow, check in with your posture. So pull tall, chin in, reach up, and now same idea, setting the hips forward and bending to the side. Nice deep breaths. Very good. And let's come on down and switch. Same thing, other side. Interlace, lift tall. Oh, sorry, no. Elbow bend, tricep stretch. Send the hips forward, bend into the front leg. All right, fantastic. Perfect that we're down here because the next piece is going to be down on the floor. If you want to elevate your planks, you're welcome to it. Remember, wide handprint, starfish hands. I heard it in a class I did this weekend, which I liked. We're going to either just hold the front plank or shift into plank shoulder taps from one shoulder to the other, head neutral. All right, if you don't quite feel ready to pick the hands up all the way, you could also just do like a palm lift where you shift side to side, lifting up the hands. We'll be working for 45 seconds, and then we're going to come onto our backs for some glute bridges. Round 2 and 3, I'm going to elevate my feet for some hamstring curls. Like I said, if you can't get down on the floor, you can do the elevated plank and those good mornings. Any questions? All right. If there are no questions, let's go ahead and get into position for our first plank. Set those hands right underneath the shoulders. 2, 1, and here we go. Hold the chin neutral. Pull the belly button in, lifting up through the shoulder blades. I'll try to give you every 15 here. That's our first 15. And just pay attention that you keep the hands engaged, just a little bit of a bend at the elbow so you're not hyperextended through that elbow. And there's 30. I am rocking quite a bit here, but ideally we can kind of really hone it in and have as little shift between the hips and shoulders as possible. 2, 1, and there's our 45. Great job. Make your way onto your back. Shoulder blades back and down. We're going to start with the feet flat on the ground. We're going into some glute bridges. 2, 1, here we go. Send the hips up. Fire the glutes. And once you got what we're doing here, pull that chin in, just looking straight ahead. Great time to relax the eyes. You don't want to have any pinching into the back. Just want to open through the front of the hips and wake up that glute. Good job. Coming up on 30 seconds. Not working on speed of reps here, but more about control of movement and a nice, good, strong opening at the top. Chin in, push those hips high. Let's get about 1 to 2 more good ones. Up and hold. 2, 1, and rest. Fantastic. That's set 1. We're going to keep the rest short here. 15 seconds in between exercises. If you need a little bit more rest, just build it in. Back to our plank in 2, 1. Here we go. Hips and shoulders as square as you can. Feel free if you want to add those shoulder taps. Fantastic. 15 seconds down. And if anyone has any discomfort on the wrist, you could always drop it down to a forearm plank where you support on the forearms. That's 30 seconds. Continue to breathe. Make sure the low back's not arching. So I'm focused on belly button pulled in. Two, 1, and that's our 45. Great job. Back to our bridges. You can keep the feet flat, or if you'd like, feel free to elevate the feet up. Set the shoulder blades. And here we go. Sending those hips up or doing those standing good mornings. Fire the glutes, send those hips open. Moving with control. Continue to breathe. Pull that chin in. It's going to allow the back of the neck to open. That's 30 seconds. Starting to really feel those hamstrings. Woo, feels good. And 2, 1, that's our 45. Fantastic. If you're up for it, we got one more set here. So coming back to our planks. Anytime you need a little bit more rest, just honor yourself, give it to yourself. Otherwise, 2, 1, here we go. Good, lifting up out of that shoulder, not letting yourself drop into it. Pushing away from gravity. Good work. Keeping the hips down, but really lifting through the back. Fantastic. That's 30 seconds. Typically when I'm in person with people, I'm usually tapping them right between the shoulder blades, telling them to lift up towards the ceiling. So just imagine lifting the spine towards the ceiling without piking the hips. Looks great. And that's our 45. Great job. Final rotation to the glute bridges. Set the shoulder blades. And here we go. Chin in. Great time to relax the eyes closed. Just allow the body to work. Allow the mind to rest. So easy to be critical of ourselves with exercise or really anything in life. This morning I got mad at myself because I said, I'm going to get up. And it was just so dark and so cold. I mean, I snoozed for like an hour. That's our 30-second mark. And then I had to go through this whole process of like not being mad at myself, telling myself it's all right. But tomorrow you bet I'm getting out of bed. And 2, 1, and rest. Great job, everybody. Go ahead and pull those knees in towards your chest. Stretch out a little bit here. Feel free to rock yourself side to side. Fantastic. From here, we're going to move into a figure 4 stretch. So if you need to step away from your bench a little bit, by all means, rock yourself back. And then we're going to take the right leg to start. Put the right foot on the left thigh. And then we're going to reach in between the legs, pull that leg in. Say hello to the hip on the right. And then we can add a little bit of hamstring, sciatic nerve work, extending the leg up, point the foot away, pull it towards the face, and then bend it down. As you bend down, that's where you want to focus on hugging the leg in, opening the hip. Let's take that through 2 more cycles. Extend, point, lift, and bend that knee down. It's just a sequence that allows and encourages that big nerve to slide. Again, extend, point, pull it towards your face, bend that knee back down. A lot of times people get symptoms like sciatica and such, and that can just be from too much sitting or stationary activity that allows those tissues to get stuck along the back of the leg. And go to relax and switch sides. Left side this time, hugging the right leg in. And before we worry about that right leg, let's just say hello to the hip on the left. Take some time here. You can close the eyes. Nice deep breath. And then when you're ready, extending the right leg up, point the foot away, pull it towards your face, and then bend it down, pull it in. 2 more. Extend, point, lift, and down and in. Breathing deep. And last one, extend up, point up, pull towards the face, and back down. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and roll over. We're just going to do a couple of stretches for that upper body, and then we're going to roll into our final sequence. We have some overhead work in this last piece, so I want to get a little bit of rotational work through the rib cage. Let's go either up on the hands, or if you feel good to drop down onto the forearms, we'll come onto the forearms. We're going to go hand behind the head, elbow to that opposite elbow, and then you're going to rotate, peer up towards the sky. Let's go about 7 or so here. Pause in that open position. You can have the eyes closed, but just take your time, allow the body to open and lift up out of that bottom shoulder as you rotate. I like to exhale as I move into that rotation, help clear the air out of the rib cage, get just a little bit more movement. And one more, down and in, open and hold. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Same thing, other side. Breathe and move for about 7. Nice job. Breathe in to close. I'm going to lift up out of that bottom shoulder as you rotate. Peer over that opposite shoulder. Let's get about one more. Fantastic. Go ahead and place the hands underneath the shoulders. Turn your toes under, and we're going to send the hips up in the air. Gently pulse the head between the arms for some down dog pulses. Opening up that mid back, sending the hips high. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and stretch out those calves a bit, walking the heels out, up and down. Nice job. All right. And go ahead and come down to the knees once more. We're going to walk those knees in together, and then we're just going to gently drop the hips side to side here. As I talk about this last piece, we're going to be doing 5 sets. It's what we call a Tabata interval, which simply means we work for 10 seconds. Excuse me, opposite that. Work for 20 seconds, rest for 10. Oh my goodness, my words. So we're going to be doing an overhead press. We'll be going left arm first, 20 seconds of an overhead press, about 10 seconds to rest. And then we're going to go either a marching with a weight, or you're welcome to do like a running high knees if you want more intensity. And then we'll have that 10 seconds to rest. Then, as you can imagine, we're going to go right arm, shoulder to overhead. And then either again, running high knees or that weighted march. I'm going to give a little variety in what I'm demoing here, where I'm going to do the weighted march after my left arm, and I'm going to do like a jogging in place after the right arm. There's no assigned rest beyond that in between sets. So you either can go every other set if you'd like more rest, or just build it in as you need. All right, let's grab a short drink, and then we're going to get started here in 20 seconds. So again, we're going to be going shoulder to overhead. You can go a strict press or a dip and drive for what we call a push press. I'm going to start with strict and then probably increase to a push press as we go through the sets. All right, starting on that left arm, 2, 1, here we go. Core strong, ribs down. Not so much worried about speed here, but just nice movement. Focus on that shoulder elevating up towards the ear. And like you're trying to bring that weight right over the center of your head at the top. Good job. Elbow forward, one more. Good, and transition. You can either keep the same weight or you can change up the weight. Like I said, if you want to do like a running high knee the whole way. Otherwise, join me for a march. You can stay stationary or move around your space. Nice smooth rhythm. And 2, 1, and rest. Very good. Now we'll go right arm next. Elbow forward, feet are just underneath the hips. Point those toes straight ahead. And here we go. Elbow. Shoulder elevates towards the ear. We're oftentimes really focused on those shoulder blades back and down, with the exception of this overhead press. Now we want to encourage that shoulder blade to move up and down the rib cage, elevating up, pushing high. 2, 1, and transition. Good job. You can go back to that weighted march, or I'm going to do like a jogging high knee this time. You also could skip. And here we go. 20 seconds. Breathing smooth. Good job. That's 10 seconds. Two, 1, and rest. Fantastic. That's set 1. We're going to roll right into set 2. Either keep the same weight or increase. 2, 1, here we go. If you increase weight and need a little bit more oomph to get up to overhead, you can add that little dip and drive, turning it into a push press. Good job. Fantastic. And transition. And you can either use that same weight, or if you want to go a little heavier on that weighted march. 2, 1, and begin. Nothing wrong with holding 2 weights in 2 hands also. Just use it based upon what you have. Right now, my home collection consists of like 1 of each weight, so only have a couple with 2. Good job. There's our 20 seconds already. Second half of set 2. Switching arms and begin. Pay attention to keep those ribs down, so don't let that back arch. And even though we're pushing with that upper body, fire your glutes. I can even feel my toes like gripping down to the floor. Nice, good, strong base of support and rest. Fantastic. Either back to the weighted march or join me for the running high knees. 2, 1, here we go. If you are jogging in place, it's really important to kind of have a nice relaxed lower leg, allowing the heel to just kind of graze down, not staying too high up on the toes. And rest. Fantastic. That's 2 sets down. So you can keep it the same weight. I'm going to start to move a little bit heavier this time, so I'm going to add that dip and drive. And here we go, starting set 3. If you're dipping with me, sit into the heels, push the knees out like a little quarter squat. Good job. 2, 1, and rotate. Fantastic. Weighted marches next. And here we go. Breathing and moving. These quick transitions help keep that heart rate up. And as you're marching here, continue to pull yourself tall. Hips continue to stay, or sorry, shoulders stacked over the hips. Good, and rest. Awesome job. We're exactly halfway through. Moving into that opposite arm. If you're with me, I'm on that right side, and begin. If you're dipping and driving, heels down, knees out. And watch that your chest doesn't dip forward. Stay as tall as you can through the torso. And rotate. Nice work. Back half of set 3. Either marching or jog in place. You can also dance around too if you prefer. Maybe some of you have some fun music going on over there. Whatever you're doing, try to have some fun. And there's the end of set 3. Nice job, everybody. If you need a break, take a round off and join us for the last one. Otherwise, back to that left arm for set 4 and begin. Breathe through. Dip down, drive up. Core engaged. Push high, elevating that shoulder. Good, and rotate. Get ready for that weighted carry. And begin. Knees up, foot and toes up. Nice, smooth march. Good work. Don't let yourself fall forward. Stay tall. And rest. Excellent job. Right arm next. 2, 1, and here it is. Every breath should sound and look the same, so coordinate the breathing, elevate through the shoulder. And rest. Woo, good job. Back half of set 4. We're almost there. 2, 1. Marching, jogging. I'll give a little skip this time. Great job. 2, 1, and there's the end of set 4. Just one more round to go, everybody. Hanging strong. Last time on this left arm. 2, 1, and begin. Ribs down, engage those glutes. Heels down if you're dipping. Continue to breathe. And rotate. Awesome. Second to last of the marches. 2, 1, begin. Whew. Moving well. And rest. Awesome. Final time on the overhead press. Back to that right arm. 2, 1. Here we go. Make sure you look straight ahead. Shoulders stacked over the hips. Knees drive out as you dip. And final rotation. Great job. Finish it out as you choose. 2, 1, and we're going to go 30 seconds for this last little push. Have some fun. Breathe through it. That's 15. We're halfway. Continue to keep the hips level. Knees nice and high. And 3, 2, 1. All done. Excellent job. Let's walk it out. Grab some water. We'll finish with a stretch. Well done, everybody. All right, so we're just gonna stay up for a second, and we're gonna start with a quad stretch. So lifting up through the core, stabilize through the hips. Let's just grab the foot. We're gonna go standing this time. Allow that heart rate to come down before we go down to the floor. Fantastic. And rest in between sides. Let's open up that inner thigh. Going to walk the feet nice and wide. Tall chest. Ground into those heels and toes. And we're going to side lunge a little bit here. Reaching out, kind of a counterbalance. And we're looking to open up that inner thigh. Heel down, knee out. A couple more times each side. Fantastic. It's a great one to do if you notice you're a little sore on your inner thighs tomorrow from those squats today. Simple one to do in the bathroom break, washing your hands, kind of walk the feet out, grab onto the sink and so on. And now let's go quad stretch on that opposite side, lifting up, opposite leg. And relax. Fantastic. We're going to gradually make our way down to the floor. But let's start kind of stretching out the back first. So slight bend in the knees. I've walked my feet in, and we're gonna go back to that Jefferson curl. Chin to the chest, slide the hands down the legs, just kind of rounding forward, just to wake up the back of the spine. And then when you get to your bottom position, if you feel okay to stay there for a moment, breathe into that back again. And as you exhale, let the head be heavy, but still bend those knees, hold strong in the midsection. One more breath. And then if you need to, walk the feet a little bit wider, and then we're gonna reach down for the ground and go ahead and make our way down to the floor here. Walking out, coming down to the knees. We're gonna bring our toes together, walk the knees out, reach the hands up, and drop them back into child's pose. Just lower the head between the arms. And back to that breath. Especially those that are live with me here this evening, we just want to start now to breathe deep, bringing the heart rate down. Start to shift your nervous system into a state of recovery. One more breath here. Fantastic. Go ahead and come on up. Bring those knees in. We're going to go back to those hip rocks where you walk the knees in and rock the hips side to side. Stretching out the side of the hips, a little bit of the low back. Very good. And then we're going to go back down to child's pose, but this time we're going to turn it into a child's pose side stretch. So knees together, or toes together, walk the knees out, walk your hands to the side, reach one arm long, and then drop the side body down. Nice stretch through the lat. And look to focus your breath as you breathe in to where you feel the tension. So I think about breathing to the side of the rib cage. Exhale and relax in. One more breath. And when you're ready, same thing other side. Walk the hands the other way. Reach that opposite arm long and drop the hips back. Let's go 3 breaths here. Relax those eyes closed. And once more. Very good. And we're going to go ahead and finish on our backs. Let's go ahead and get yourself comfortable here. Shoulder blades back and down. Hold everything in a solid position. Let's extend out that left leg. And we're going to pull the right knee towards the right shoulder and actively push your left thigh down towards the floor as you pull the knee towards the opposite side. And then let's go ahead and roll the ankle around 3 to 5 each way. Switch directions. Good. And now we're going to start to bring the knee across the body towards that opposite shoulder. Don't let the whole hips come off the ground, but we're just looking to isolate in towards the glute a little bit. So you can also kind of tease and like move the body, kind of floss it through up and down here. Waking up the hip joint. Well, it should be well awake, but just loosening up the hip joint. And then when you're ready, we'll switch sides. Extend the right leg, pull the left knee towards that left shoulder. Remember to actively push that right thigh down. And let's roll that ankle around on the left side. 3 to 5 one way, and then switch. 3 to 5 the other. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring the knee gently across. Again, looking to keep the hips down and just kind of say hello to the glute. Slide the knee up and down till you feel a little bit of tension throughout. Looking to maintain that glide through the hip. Get that nice ball and socket joint. So we want that ball to be able to glide in its socket. Fantastic. We're going to go back to the first side. We're going to be doing a single leg spinal twist. If you want to grab a pillow or like a yoga block to support the leg into that twist, feel free to grab one. And then we're going to open up the mid back at the same time. So we'll go back to the right knee. We're going to bring it across the body. And this time the hips will come off the ground a bit, kind of shift onto that left side. And you can use that pillow or so to support this. And now we'll splay the arms wide. And we're going to bring the right hand over to the left hand. And then sweep it up and across, looking to bring that right shoulder back down towards the floor and peer over that shoulder as well. Back and forth between 3 and 5 here. On the last one, we're gonna walk the fingers over top of the head to open up the chest a bit more. Close in and open. Couple more. So just another way to open up the mid back. And on this last one here, when I have hands to hands, now I'm gonna start to just walk the fingers up and around like you're trying to trace the upper part of a clock. You're gonna start to feel that shoulder and chest open. And then when you get to that bottom position, just pause there for a second if you can tolerate this twist a bit more. One more breath. And let's come out of that and switch sides. Same thing, other side. All righty. So now this time we have the left side coming across and the left hand comes to meet the right hand. Upwards of 5 here. And just a reminder on that last one, we'll walk the hand over the head. Encouraging the body to open. Fantastic. Last one, walk the fingers up. And over. And the hand's gonna kind of naturally turn over as you start to make your way down. Good job. Drop the arms side to side. One more breath here. And making your way out of that twist. Fantastic. And then we'll finish. You can either go knee to chest, or if you're comfortable in what they typically call like a plow position, if you want to bring the knees up and over a little bit, just make sure you support. It's a good stretch for the back, but just go to the range you're comfortable. And if you don't want to lift the hips up, just keep them down. And you could do that double knee, or great time to hang on for happy baby as well, where you grab the shins or the feet on the outside. And you can kind of use it to pull the feet wide and rock yourself side to side. Close the eyes and just smile like you're like that little baby in the crib with no to-do list, nothing to do besides just kind of stare and enjoy the moment. Those little moments of bliss. We got to create those moments as adults. Fantastic. All right, folks, especially those of you that are winding down for the night, feel free if you want to hang out there on your back, get yourself set and centered. Otherwise, thanks so much for coming. Drink plenty of water, eat a healthy dinner, and hope to see you next time.